everybody. I'm Mike.
And I'm Ray, and I'm back. I'm not sick anymore.
Great. And it's the Know Nothings podcast, number 68.
Yes,
so
sir.
That's what we're doing. And thanks for Jason for coming in when Ray got sick and doing one for us. I thought it was fun. We'll have him back again.
Yeah, I really wanted to do that three-way with Jason, but he did a great job, man. I was proud of him. He sounded like pro.
He did really good. Yeah, it was funny.
So tell us about... You tell us about Bike Week. You've been in Daytona for, 8 or 10 days?
Yeah.
Anything
well,
worth mentioning?
I mean, I had a great time. Me and Kylie. We went down there, and my parents were there for a couple of days. Then they left, and then it was just me and Kylie. And we got up every day, rode motorcycles, and just did the normal thing. We're not big late-night partiers, so we were, off the streets by 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
And, but riding around there, riding through the swamp there and doing all that's a lot of fun. And it was a good time. We had a really good time.
Now, you didn't ride down there, right? Your bike was down there. You just...
Yeah, the bike's down there. I feel like if I rode that bike here, that it would bust every... I have an Ultra Classic. It's a 2008. It's older, but it's only got like 25,000 miles on it. It's like it's got 30 on it now. Ultra Classic, Harley Davidson. Bagger, old man bagger, and I feel like if I rode it here, every fairing on the thing would bust off with all the bumps here and stuff, man.
Our friend Mark, did you see Mark down there, Hatley?
No.
He rode his bike down there.
Me and Mark were talking about getting together, but he went right when it started and left actually the day I showed up, so we just passed each other. Passed each other.
Oh,
and I was like, "Hey, what are you up to? We're good." And he was like, "Oh, we already left." And I was like, "Son of a bitch."
Yeah, him and Jeff went down there. They rode all the way from Bernice, I guess, from Bernice to Daytona. That's a good little trip on a bike.
It's from here to Daytona is about. Hey, what's up, y'all? From here to Daytona, it's 12 hours. So.
Did y'all do it in one shot?
Yeah, I did it in one shot. Kylie drives, so I drove, and then I drove a little bit about halfway, then she drove the rest of the way, then on the way back we did about the same thing. I drive until I'm dead tired and the 5-hour energies don't work anymore, and
there comes a point when there's no amount of Red Bull you can drink, there's no monsters, it's just fuck.
And then you get hungry and you're like, let's whip in here to Taco Bell and get a Taco Bell, and then you eat Taco Bell and there's then you're done. And I was like, you gotta drive. I was like, I can't do that.
Yeah, I took the kids to Disney, twice, but once when they were 5, 3, and 1. And man, I was like, I am making it. It's Orlando's 15, 16 hours or something. I was like, I'm not stopping. I'm making this straight shot back. I can't do one more minute of 3 kids 5 and under.
Oh yeah. I got kind of lucky. When we lived in Georgia, there was a place in Valdosta. I can't remember what it's called, but it was a water park and it's called Wild Adventures, I think.
Yeah.
And they had all the cool roller coasters, everything, and it was never packed. So we would just go there instead of going to Disney World. And I had 2 boys; they didn't care about Disney World or Disney princesses or anything like that. So.
Yeah.
And I know that doesn't mean that's I'm not saying whatever you think I'm saying. I'm just saying they didn't care. We just went and had a good time.
Yeah, well, no one know if you don't bring it up. It's really kind of I think moms kind of want to do the Disney thing.
Hey, look at Disney World, kids. We're at Disney World. And they're like, cool, let's get on the roller coaster. Hey, where's Mickey? I don't know. He must be off today.
Here's a funny thing about Disney if you've never been.
Oh, I went when I was
when you were a kid.
Me and Mom and Dad went.
I'm just going to... It's totally overrated to me. The rides are better at Universal, but rides are better than both those places at Six Flags, or probably at the place you went in Valdosta.
Yeah. The one in Valdosta had all the
huge.
The one where you get on it and it pulls you up this way and all the way up, and you're looking straight down, then just lets you go, and then it had all those crazy ones like that, not just an old wooden one, and then all that stuff.
Disney's rides are kind of weak. I mean, it's like the Magic Mountain and just 35 miles an hour through the mountain. They're kind of weak sauce rides. The Pirates of the Caribbean, you're in a pirate ship going through the water. Oh, there's a pirate, a puppeteer. Yeah,
that's still there. Oh yeah, I guess it's all the same thing. I have a funny story about when I was real little at Disney World. Disney World is in Florida. Disneyland is in California, Anaheim, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, never been to California, thank God.
So
I was probably 5, and we go to Disney World, and Space Mountain. Mm-hmm. Did you ride Space Mountain?
Oh yeah.
That's a pretty hardcore one.
That's their best ride.
That's the best ride. It's completely dark except for the flashing and stuff from what I remember. But instead of like
we see the stars.
Think about this. This is the 80s, okay? We're not wearing seatbelts. We're riding down to Florida. I'm in the back of the car on top of the speakers laid out by the glass looking at cars behind me. You know, dangerous shit we lived through.
Yeah.
So like we get on Space Mountain and my dad just holds me. I'm not in a...
So you're like 3 or something, 4?
Yeah, 3. This may be my first... This may be the
Your
memory
first memory
that kicked me into reality.
Yeah.
Because he just held me, and it's going crazy. And when we got off the thing, the description, I kind of remember like being slumped over Dad's shoulder and just sweating.
Oh yeah,
and like
that's intense for a 3-year-old.
As like that mom was like, oh, he's like a wet rag over your shoulder, hon. Because like I was like, it was so intense. It was like can't see, getting jerked all over the place. Dad's holding me, and I'm sure it wasn't as violent as what my mind was making it.
Oh, when you're a child,
it was brutal. So like it was like a funny story because Dad's like, hold on to me. But that was like probably my first memory because it's wild.
So my first Disney trip in like I guess 1981 or 80. So I was like 4. But also this is kind of my first core memory as a Disney memory. All I wanted to do was ride Dumbo. So you know the Dumbo ride?
Yeah.
So I made, and you know there's a line, right, to get in everything, like 30 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
So mom and dad, young parents, they got their 2 young kids there, and I made my dad and mom get in line for Dumbo like 20 times in a row. I was like, no Dumbo, no Dumbo, more Dumbo. Oh, no, I don't. My dad was losing his shit. He was like, we're not going to that damn Dumbo anymore. He's flipping out. He's having like a moment in Disney, and my mom's like, we're going to let this baby, you know how moms are if they're 3 or 4-year-olds. This baby wants to ride Dumbo. We're going to ride Dumbo as many times as he wants. Right. So I hear that, right? So that's all I need to hear to know, like, mom's got my back. I can just keep pressing this Dumbo button over and over and over. So we rode Dumbo an inordinate amount of times. I don't remember how many times. Enough times to make my dad go clinically insane, though.
Yeah,
but
awesome.
Yeah. And then when we got home from Disney, I don't remember really anything else about the trip. A little bit here and there, but then we got home. I remember running in the house, and I was so thirsty. I don't remember why I remember, but I opened the refrigerator and I grabbed a carton of milk that was like, we'd been gone for 10 or 15 days.
Oh.
This milk is like curdled sour.
Yeah.
I'm 4.
Cottage cheese.
And I opened the milk and down the hatch. So I'm not old enough to know what sour milk is, right? I have to experience that. So I didn't ask mom. I was old enough to get it myself and drink it. They're unloading. I remember they're bringing luggage and shit in, and I go and I drink the sour milk.
Oh.
And
throw up.
I was not like I couldn't drink milk for a long. Oh yeah.
Immediately.
Threw up everywhere. Like so, and then you're talking about the danger ride. When I went back when I was 13 or 14 with a friend, my buddy Robert asked me to go with him to Disney World, and they had a pull behind camper. Uh-huh. So me and Robert, like 13, like 8th grade, right? We don't want to be around adults.
Yeah,
like we want to listen to Metallica in our own world. So we're like, we want to ride in the camper. His dad's like, it's a pull behind camper. There's no air conditioner. There's no safety harness. It's a pull behind camper. We're like, we don't care. We want to do it. If we want to do it, we want to do it. He's like, fuck it, y'all do it.
Dude, that's so illegal. That's so illegal.
We rode from New Orleans to Orlando in a pull behind camper the whole way.
Oh my God, I can't believe you
sweated.
It had to be illegal back then too.
This was 1990. So I would think
it had to be.
This is nobody who's coming.
It wasn't the 70s or early 80s when they would have been like, "Where are the kids? They're in the back." Oh yeah.
1990. We're in a pull behind camper. We're like basically sitting in our boxers because it's so hot, right? It's so hot we're dying. We can't even breathe. But every time we stop, we can't come up with the script, right? It's like, y'all want to get in the truck?
No.
No, hell no. We're loving this.
We're having a great time.
This is great.
You're sweating. You're sweating. And like, we're having a wonderful time.
That really was a fun trip for those. It was like, that's when, because we were old enough at that time to like, me and my buddy could go do our
wander
all day in the park. No adults, go do our attempts at picking up chicks at Disney. whatever you think you're doing in your head, yeah.
Whatever you think you're doing when you're that age.
Which is basically every girl around your age, you're gonna do something goofy in front of them so they'll notice you, right? Like.
Do you think kids still do that, or do they text each other?
I don't think
Goofy shit.
I don't think they would. I don't know. I don't think so. I don't know that they have the social, like. I know, like, say on that trip or any trip I would go on with my friends at that age, we would talk to every girl around if you were like 12 to 14 or 15, because I was a big kid, so I could always push the lie.
Yeah.
I could always be whatever age I need. If I'm 12, I could be 14 easily, right? Because I was a big kid. So, yeah, we would just talk to every girl we could. Nothing ever happened that I remember. I'd say 13 and down, definitely nothing ever happened. But if you're like at an amusement park or you're at the beach, we would just talk to every girl around her. I say talk. We would like maybe, punch each other in the arm or do whatever it is you do. But we would make an attempt to approach the females.
Yeah.
And we would talk, and over the course of the trip, we would talk to 10, 12, 14 different girls. And maybe you'd walk around the park with somebody, you go on some rides with some of them. I don't know if the generation now could do stuff. I don't know if they have the social acumen to do something like that.
Well,
I could be judging.
I do know that sometimes it's really hard to talk to people that are younger than us because they are awkward. They're socially awkward.
Yeah, because
it's very strange to go somewhere and even like go into like a Love's. You get some gas at the Love's. You go into the Love's and they're forced to say "Welcome to Love's," and that's like all you get.
If you try to get more out of it,
you go up and you go to the bathroom, wash your hands, you come out, or don't wash your hands, whatever you feel.
Wash your hands.
Wash your hands. You're at a truck stop, for God's sake. Or anywhere.
Where you're touching your wiener.
You like grab a Snickers, which by the way, Snickers were. Do you know any news about like Snickers not shipping anywhere in the South or something? Because every time I stopped, I couldn't get a Snickers. They were all out. All they had were those dumb Snickers that they've made up all these flavors.
Like peanut Snickers.
Stupid idiot Snickers.
Not a real Snickers.
Not a real Snickers. But anyway, you get the Snickers and the Coke or whatever. I'm not drinking Coke. I was drinking like a water or something.
Yeah.
Acai berry or whatever. And you go up to the counter and you're like, here, and you like I always like to chit chat a little bit or like throw some wisdom or chit chat. Not like, hey baby.
No, just like, hey, what's going on?
Hey, what's going on? How's it going today? Good day. It's kind of busy in here, huh? And they're like, oh, ding, that'll be this many dollars.
Yeah, because
not that bad, but like they're like, and you're just like, okay.
It can be that bad.
How do you make it like? I have had some that were that bad, but like some people just make it so awkward. And what I don't understand is, owning a business would want to put people that are engaging with the customers in like a fast food window that likes to engage or can engage with people, or at a cash register that can engage. Now there are some places that have completely gotten away with it now because they have that big screen when you walk in and you go. I don't ever really eat fast food, but I've realized on the trip down there when you pull in to get fast food, you always have an option of just ordering it on a screen, and then they go Mike, or they have a number and they bring it out to you. Even like McDonald's, they all have a screen. They're just like completely getting away from us having to even talk and be awkward.
Well, they're trying. You say that, of course, that would be the goal of people. The problem would be this: anybody born after, I don't want to say anybody, but the majority of people born after about 03, 04, where I would say like their whole childhood, their whole life was technology and connection, like you're connected that way. Mm-hmm. They're not really used to like this type of conversation. And like we grew up only cutting it up, right? And of course we're old men at this point, but I'm saying even people younger than us, even millennials in their late 30s, anybody down to like 25, 24, I'd say all the way down to probably 24, 23. Because they were, at that age, you think they're 24, 25-ish, they were 9 or 10 or 11 before it came into fruition.
You got to remember, the ball busting had to stop because of the millennials. The ball busting at work had to stop because of the very tail end of the millennial. Not the one that's right underneath me, because they got. Yeah,
because you're only 1 year away from being an elder millennial.
I'm an elder millennial.
You're a Gen X, but
I'm a Gen X.
And 1 year younger, you'd be an elder millennial.
I'd be an elder millennial. Those guys that are like 3 years younger than me, but anything after that is what, like, you're just talking shit at work, and they're like, Mike, we need to see you in HR.
That was the
But
start.
He got a new haircut, and I called him haircut for a day. That's not mean, is it?
That was the start of. I'd say like mid-millennials was kind of the start of political correctness, but I don't know if it was the millennials necessarily. Maybe it was. Who knows? It's hard to pinpoint.
It's hard to pinpoint when it
now
its grips.
But now there's it shifted so far for like 20 years that now there's almost a tide coming back. We're gonna tell jokes again.
Right.
I can't wait for them to start making movies again, like good movies. I'm not saying.
Right.
Just start making good comedy.
I always said to bust up your thought here. I always said that a little bit of bullying was good, but the problem with bullying now is the phone. You don't wear a fucking weird hat to school, and everybody's like, fucking weird hat, you know?
Yeah.
And then so you don't wear that anymore, and you conform a little bit. At that moment, you have to decide if you're cool enough to wear the hat and take it, and be the guy in the weird hat because you're defining who you are at that moment, or you just conform a little bit and don't wear the fucking weird hat. But now you can't just go home and in your room because you got a phone and everybody on the phone's bullying you after hours.
I would say you have
the after hours bullying is going on.
Yeah,
and that sucks.
Online bullying, took things to another level, right?
Right. Of course.
And you don't have.
I'm not saying I like bullying. I'm just saying there was a little bit of bullying made me kind of cooler than I was.
And and you don't have to be. Online, you don't have to look somebody in the eyes. You don't have to have, the human aspect of them being. You can just say. Just like I told you before the show, a guy tried. Well, he didn't know if it was
Twitter.
Me. On Twitter, he didn't, or X. He didn't know if it was me or you, but he threatened to shoot me. This guy threatened to shoot me
twice.
Let me tell you why. Because I had the.
See, we think it's funny. We're laughing about it because of our generation.
It's funny.
Gonna shoot you through the computer, nerd.
Let me tell you, he threatened me twice, and this is why. He threatened to shoot me because I said it's my core belief that I believe American employers, even though I'm a libertarian who voted for Trump, and this guy, this was on a right wing, this was a right wing person's thread we were talking on. So these people were all this guy was obviously way further right than me. He's on the insane spectrum.
Right.
I was like, hey, I just think that I think American companies should have to pay full-time workers enough money that they can live so that taxpayers don't have to subsidize those people, because taxpayers are in fact subsidizing those people.
Right.
People that are working full-time are being subsidized by taxpayers, and I think that's bullshit. I think the companies should have to make sure if you're full-time, you can, I'm not saying have an extravagant life, I'm saying be able to eat food, have lights and water, and live in a shitty apartment with no car. And I'm saying whatever that wage is, that's what I think the American employer should pay for full-time. So we can have, and I even said we can have another discussion about teenagers or part-time work and things like that, because that's a separate. That could be a separate discussion. And I said this is just my core belief. And I was even telling the girl that I was talking to, the lady on Twitter, I was like, hey, because me and her were going back and forth, but it was respectful. I was like, we mostly agree on. So I was like, I'm laying out all these points, and she can't really counter them because there is no good counter, right? There's no good. And I know when I've got somebody in a debate, when I've got them cornered, because they can. So I had her kind of cornered in the debate, and she's, Anyway, this guy comes in, just chimes in out of nowhere. He's like, if you think you're going to come in between my contract with me and my employee, I got some lead and copper for your ass. So I said, whoa, sir. I said, excuse me, sir. This is literally how I approach it on Twitter. You can go look on Know Nothing's podcast on Twitter or X and go down. I didn't delete any of the comments. I said, sir? I said, I'm not sure I'm reading the room right here. I say, did you just threaten to shoot me over an online disagreement about compensation and taxes? And he's like, you want to try me? So did you just threaten to shoot me twice now? Fucking lunatic.
What a crazy person.
I almost wanted to call him a Democrat. I was like, you're acting unhinged like someone on the left. You're obviously on the right, but this is what happens when you're too far right or too far left. I mean, there's extremes on both ends, right? And I'm steadfast that the left is completely nuts.
Right.
This guy threatened. This guy's on the right, though.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, there are people on the right that are completely nuts too.
This motherfucker.
You found one.
This guy threatened to shoot me because I thought taxpayers shouldn't subsidize his employees. Threatened to shoot me.
And they're already paying it.
And then said, "You want to try me?" So
yeah, I just be like, you want to try? Be like, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I did. I said, yeah, where you at? Yeah, I do.
So,
I was like, I'm not an internet tough guy. Like, what is this? Like, I'm not going to, like, you're playing internet tough guy bullshit, and I don't believe you. I think you're a 67-year-old, fat, bloviated, haven't been laid in 20 years piece of shit.
So I think
you're a pussy. So if I want to try you, yeah, I'll try you.
I'll take it. I'll take that bet.
But it had me so fired up. But I was really laughing. I was really laughing because I'm like, it's unbelievable. Like, but there's really people like this.
But you turned him in.
Yeah,
of course.
I reported it.
He said he was going to shoot you twice.
I've never reported anyone online. I've been in a million.
That's gun violence. He threatened you with gun violence.
You threatened to murder me.
Yes, murder you.
Over nothing.
And he didn't know if you were talking to me too. So my life's in danger.
Well, yeah, he was just corresponding with the Know Nothings podcast. So
I don't give a shit. I got something for him.
Yeah, so
he can find out where I'm at by a Google search. Come on with it.
So he didn't know. He didn't know if he was talking to Ray or Mike. He didn't know which one of us it was. It was me, by the way, if he happens to be watching our podcast. I'm sure he's going to be tuning in now to see if he can locate where we're at so he can come shoot me.
Yeah, well, yeah. Good luck with that. Good luck, sir.
So anyway, have you seen, speaking of nuts, have you seen everybody blowing up the Teslas and graffiti in them all and smashing the dealerships?
I've stayed away from the news so we could have these conversations because I really, like, when I went down to Florida, I really tried not to do any type of news, nothing.
Good call.
I had to work while I was there, too, though. So I was, like, riding and answering the phone and working. I didn't look at any news. I would ride. We'd go to eat every meal out at these nice restaurants down there. Or nice, whatever, like, whatever, Florida restaurants. And just have a good time. So I didn't look at any news or nothing. So you got to give me the news. Here's Ray with the news, and I'm going to chime in.
So the left is like smashing windows out of Tesla dealerships.
Why?
Because Elon is
hate Elon Musk.
Because Elon's trying to save money. Because Elon's finding waste, fraud, and abuse. They know that's linked to their Democrat donors. The Democrats are going online, and the mainstream media is feeding the narrative. They're telling people that Elon's going to take your grandmother's Social Security check because he says he wants to get fraud out of it. So anyway, because of that, they're spray painting Teslas. They blew up a whole parking lot of Teslas. They're smashing out the windows of whole dealerships, setting them on fire, removing all their wheels. So they...
1 second. Are Tesla dealerships independent? Like... Ford and
of course, yeah.
So they're blowing up Jim Jones's that goes to church every Sunday's Teslas.
Oh no, it gets better, Mike. They're vandalizing random people's Teslas on the street. And just a Billy Bob.
So that's why I see all these stickers on Teslas that say I bought this before Elon Musk was a Nazi.
Yeah,
because
he's clearly a Nazi.
Clearly, because
so completely unhinged. So then Trump. So Tesla's stock kind of started tanking, and obviously, I mean, we've got these tariff talks, and we can get into all that later. But anyway, so Trump has Elon bring his whole fleet of Teslas in front of the White House, gets the whole press corps out there, and he's like, "I'm going to buy a Tesla. I want to help my friend Elon. He doesn't need to do this. He's doing this for American people trying to ruin his company. But by the way, if you're vandalizing Teslas, if you're breaking windows out of dealerships, we're going to prosecute you under domestic terrorism." And Trump went and bought a $95,000 whatever the one is, goes like 0 to 60 in 1.9.
Yeah, the S Plaid with the gold wings.
Yeah.
Oh man,
I think it's a pretty Tesla. Anyway, Trump buys one. Of course, today everybody on the left is like, unbelievable, a billionaire funds his campaign and hacks computers to get him into the White House. Now he's forcing Trump to do infomercials about Teslas from the White House.
Do people not know how the world works? Do they not know, like, having a buddy? Have they never had buddy? Have they never had buddy?
Have you ever seen these people?
Like we're buddies.
Yeah.
If you were like, hey, come on down to, where I work and buy a chicken, whatever, I'd be like, straight up, bring in the whole, if I had a football team, be like, roll through. I'm going to bring the football team through. I'm going to park it and we're all going to.
Of course, if somebody's and if the left was sabotaging your business, and you wouldn't have to ask, which Elon didn't have to ask, the left is sabotaging your business, trying to destroy it over literally nothing. These people loved Elon 2 years before when he was a liberal.
They're destroying them, and then the next thing you know, you're going to get a check from Doge for $5,000, and they're just going to take it and put it right in the bank.
Of course.
If anybody out there doesn't want their $5,000 Doge,
send it to the
DM me.
We want a new studio.
We want a new studio that we can set up in. So just send me the money if you don't want it. We'll take it.
We'll take it.
We'll take it.
I don't think any. Here's another crazy thing they did. So the left forever has been pushing this climate mandate and all this bullshit, right? Like, whatever. They supposedly don't think it's bullshit. Now, what are they doing yesterday? Blowing up Tesla charging stations.
Oh my God.
Hey,
that is terrorism, right?
Of course.
Of course it is.
It is. Well, it's unhinged madness. Is what it is. Like they're completely like. I've been for years. I'm going to say this. For years, I tried to be like. I was super independent. You were too. We were both very independent.
Well, like for years though. Way earlier, I'm like. Punk rock anarchy in the U.S. I'm like anarchy in the UK. Yeah. I'm like I don't fucking want government. Blah blah blah. Then you grow up a little bit and you're like, oh, I kind of need some government.
Well, I still don't want a lot of government. We want less.
I want less government.
This is less government. I want peace and I want less government, and those are the things that.
And no wars.
This is that's why it's not really the right. It's kind of the MAGA movement or whatever it is, but. The left, I just can't. You can't follow. The only thing you can follow about their logic is that they will do anything for power. And I'm not saying the right's not guilty of this to some degree, but when the right boycotted Bud Light, let's look at that example, okay?
Right.
When the right boycotted Bud Light because they made this transgender their spokesperson, right? Mm-hmm. And the right didn't like that, so they boycotted Bud Light.
It was such a small part of like. Making them the transgender. It wasn't like big commercials though or anything. Well, they made him like a 6-pack with her picture on it, whatever.
Yeah, but let me finish my point. The point is they were boycotting Bud Light just like like the left wants to boycott Tesla. They did not go to one Bud Light factory and blow it up. They didn't attack anybody drinking Bud Light and punch them on the street. They didn't pull guns on people. They didn't blow up Bud Light trucks, right?
No.
They didn't take the wheels off Bud Light trucks.
No.
And this is the fundamental difference between the left and the right. It's clear as day.
They went like this. This is what they did. This is what they did to Bud Light. They went, I guess we'll drink Coors Light.
Yeah, that was pretty much. They were vocal about it. Which look, if you want to
quit buying it.
If you want to be vocal about not liking Tesla, cool. If you want to be vocal about not liking Elon Musk, cool. I don't agree with you.
Don't buy a fucking Tesla.
I don't agree with you. I think you're being childish, but that doesn't mean you don't have the right to do it as an American. You don't have the right to start smashing out windows, spray painting cars, blowing up cars, and let me tell you how MS.
How much of that do you think is like a paid?
All of it.
Soros thing.
All of it, but it doesn't matter. It's still so that's
it's time on their hands to go spray paint and blow up Teslas.
Well, let me tell you this:
really?
This guy
that really care that aren't getting paid to do it.
Well, let me just say this guy yesterday. He's standing outside the Tesla dealership. He's got a like "fuck Elon Musk" sign or whatever. And so this guy walks up to him and he's like just talking to him. And the guy doesn't know he has the camera because he has it in his pocket. He's like, bro. He's like, are you being paid to be out here? The guy goes, of course.
Of course.
He goes, wait. He goes, wait, you're really being paid? He goes, yeah, I wouldn't be out here if I wouldn't be paid. I don't give a shit.
Of course. He doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah. So
nobody gives a fuck unless they're getting paid.
But they have
the money.
Well, some people really do. Some people because
I think some people get brainwashed and they got more time on their hands than they need, and they go down to City Hall and they're like.
Well, let me tell you how just twisted and evil and fucked up the media is. This is how MSNBC reports it, and y'all can go fact check me on it. A reporter asked Trump when they're out front with the Teslas, right? Hey, what do you want to do? What are you going to do about these violent attacks on the Tesla dealerships and whatever? So violent, right? They use the word violent. Trump goes, yeah, it's unacceptable. He goes, we're going to, it's going to be labeled as domestic terrorism. MSNBC says. So according to Trump, if you boycott Tesla, it's going to be labeled as domestic terrorism. This is the fascism we're dealing with, folks. This was MSNBC, which is
jargon.
I don't know who's worse, them or CNN, but I think you You heard the reporter say violent. You heard Trump say violent. And even when she introduced it, because she slipped up because she's reading from a script, she's like,
Right.
A reporter asked what Trump was going to do about these violent. She says the word violent, but then as she's closing out her segment, she's like, so according to dictator Trump, if you're protesting in America, a First Amendment protected activity, if you happen to be protesting Tesla, that's going to be labeled as domestic terrorism. And this is the danger we're dealing with, folks.
It's nuts.
These people need, like, the reason I want to talk about this and the reason we have to talk about this is because every single person needs to be talking about this until this is exposed for what it is.
Right.
They are paid left-wing activists. It is no longer like, it's no longer conspiracy.
Provocateurs.
It is
paid provocateurs.
It is not conspiracy. It is not conjecture from the right. So for the longest time as an independent, and I think you were this way too, I tried to give, like, people would be like,
Don't tell me what I am, right?
Well, then you tell me when I finish the thought. I would say, if people would say, oh, people on the left are evil, I'd be like, that's crazy. People on the left have a different opinion. No. They're right. The left has become, they have no principles.
I think there's markers. I think like where we are, and then I think it's always true. You got to look at everybody that's in power right now. They were all on the left. Now they're right.
Every one of them.
The left went like this. Left, left, left. Here's the right. Here's the middle. It went left, 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 left. Now we're so far left
that the right became the left.
Right,
or the left became the right.
Or just a little bit over right. Are now, if you have a family and you go work out and you do this, you're a fucking fascist.
Far right extremists.
Far right extremists. They made it far right by going so far left.
Everyone in power right now was a Democrat 15 years ago. 100%. Everyone. Trump, Elon, RFK, Tulsi Gabbard. I mean, we can't say everyone, but I mean a huge majority.
Could you say that we need to quit? We need to start renaming these movement artists?
Well, I think the Democrat Party. I think the Democrat Party is dead. I don't know how they recovered from this. It's so bad and so wacky that how you how you recover from it.
You went and picked up Mooch.
It's gonna be tricky, man. It's a tough recovery. Like,
it is.
Like when you I've never seen anything like it. Have you?
No, never.
I mean, we're pretty old.
I am pretty
old.
old.
Almost half a century. And
I'm pretty old. Here comes a young person.
And never seen anything like.
Hey, love you.
Love you.
It's good to see you.
Nice to see you.
Never seen anything.
Jordan's home.
Welcome home, Jordan.
Thank you.
Go Tigers.
Go Tigers.
Yeah, I think so this is like kind of maybe a fantasy or whatever, but like I think like the left, I think Democrat Party is dead. Like all you have left is a few screaming lunatics, and all their money's drying up from the sources, right? From all these corrupt sources. The media, more people are getting hip to that the media is lying to you. Even people that like,
Even people
that like don't want to admit it. Like
legacy media is dead to me. Legacy media is dead to me. They've been bought and sold and bought and sold and bought and sold to the point where I haven't watched it in years. You should watch it. I want you to do it. I want you to do this. I want you to turn on MSNBC or CNN and just watch it and see how unhinged, and just what they will lie from the start of the broadcast to the end. Nothing but lies. Well, it's not like exaggeration. The most messed up thing I saw was like when they took that picture of Joe Rogan and made him look like yellow and gross, like he was sickly. Like he was sick. When they were accusing him, just so messed up. When they were accusing him of taking horse. That's not news. They became like the Inquirer. You know what I mean? You understand it was way before that. That's just how. Oh, I know. Yeah. But that's when I realized. Like that's when I realized. Like I didn't like CNN in the first place, but that's when I was like, holy shit. That's just like, if you don't see this, if you can't discern that they're doing this on purpose, then you're a fucking idiot. Well, and then they're trying to say he's telling you to take horse dewormer. Yeah. Never what he was saying. They completely misrepresented what he said. Completely, that's the wrong thing to say, Ray. They didn't misrepresent. They don't misrepresent. They flat out lie. It's one thing, because even if a Republican politician gets on there or a Republican talking head on Fox, they're going to exaggerate. Things get twisted.
things are not always going to be completely like above board, but that's different. That's kind of political football, right? Like, you know, you're trying to sell whatever it is that you're opining about. So exaggerations and white lies are like almost accepted. What CNN and MSNBC does, and ABC, all the legacy media, what they do is like,
but it's the news.
but what they do is a complete lie, like an utter, as just lie. Like they'll say, so for instance, Elon will say, we're going to get the waste out of Social Security and Medicaid, and they will say, they're going to take your grandmother's check. Your grandmother's not going to know where her next check is coming in from Social Security because the Republicans and Elon Musk, a billionaire, has bought his way in so he can take your grandmother's check because he wants to enrich his billionaire friends. Well, you just made that up. All of it. No one's ever said that. No one's ever said they were getting rid. But this is what they actually reported. That's how they reported that exact story.
That's crazy.
I know.
I can't watch the news because it's all bullshit. And I don't know news. I don't know what to. I
just get on X for your news.
Man, how? But what do I look at? Just get on X for news.
X is the number one news app in the world.
Yeah, but like who?
What do you mean?
News.
There's X News. There's at the top of the screen says X News.
Well, I don't really get on X.
I was like, yeah, that's exactly how you do it. X News.
I know you control like the podcast X, and I have my own one. It's called Moonbruh or whatever. But like, just I never really got into X. Twitter.
Give yourself 30 minutes a day.
Social media.
I know.
Every time I look and like
it'll piss you off.
I'll see like 80 things on my Facebook thing, and I'm like 80 things. There's 80 things that I need to look at on Facebook right now. You fucking kidding? I'll click on it. All these people posting all this stuff. I look at it, and then I'm like, man, I don't like any of these people.
So if you got. But so, if you just got to,
why does everybody think what they're doing is so important? What I look, I went the entire week really without. I only reposted what Kylie posted while we were at Bike Week because I'm trying to enjoy myself at Bike Week, not like make like a documentary about me being at Bike Week 2025. There's like. How many people are there? 50,000 people there that are doing the same fucking thing?
But I would care. I would love to see updates. So let me devil's advocate Let me devil's advocate for you. Two things. First, I would have loved to see updates. The more, the better. I would have checked them all out. I thought they were cool.
That's so much out of my time trying to have a good time.
And think about this. And just because that's your view, that's how the cashier at Circle K feels when you're talking to them. They're like, why is this guy trying to talk to me? I don't give a fuck. Like, what is he talking to me?
You're
like,
right. I'm the asshole.
No, I'm just being devil's advocate.
No, maybe that is me being an asshole. Like, okay, can I go through the Circle K thing real quick?
Yeah.
You be the cashier.
Yeah.
You be the cashier.
Well, yeah, I like to talk too, so
I walk up. And I've had that. Then I'm going to show you another experience I've had. I know we're getting all talking.
Doesn't matter. We don't have to talk.
We can go for 5 hours or what. Okay, so okay, I walk in, I get a vitamin water. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm like, I'm trying to watch my health here. Let me get a pack of Marlboro Lights too.
Yeah,
shorts in the box because I'm watching. They're lights.
Can't call them lights anymore. They changed that.
Yeah, they changed
years
the gold pack because lights sound like they're better.
They're healthy. Yeah. Diet cigarettes, please.
So okay, I'm gonna try and think of something I would say right now. Okay, so I've got my drink and this, that, and the other. I'm like, let me get a Powerball. Here it is.
You got it.
I'm like, oh man, hey, it's really raining hard outside right now.
Bro, it's been raining for like 3 days. It's crazy. I hope it slacks up soon. Shit.
That's too much talking.
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't happen.
But I know, I was being like how I would be.
Oh, how you would be.
Yeah, that's how I would do that. Yeah, that's how I would be.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Do you, so, no, I don't even know how to act anymore.
You can't do it because
I don't even know how to act anymore.
I have to be like, what you would get would be like, see, they're thinking in the thought bubble like you're thinking, why are people posting all this stuff? They're thinking, why is this guy trying to talk to me? We don't know each other at all.
But they're working in a social situation.
But people are on social.
Had somebody up here.
But people are on social media.
I know social media. It sucks.
I want to see what my friends are doing. If I'm not with them, I know. That's my point.
They're not doing anything cool. I have like 30 friends that do cool things.
You were doing something cool.
Is it though?
Yeah.
Like 50,000 other people do.
But I only knew 3 people there.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I knew 3.
Who was the third? Oh,
Jeff.
Kylie.
No, well, Kylie.
Okay.
Jeff.
You knew 4. You knew 4.
I knew 4 people that, and maybe I knew some, and maybe I knew some more.
People at Bike Week.
Now look, if somebody goes to a concert, I don't want to watch you film the concert.
I can watch that on YouTube.
But if somebody's like, "Oh, Black Label tonight, I can't wait," oh, I'm like, "Oh, that's cool," and I can.
Or like if you run into Zach Wilde on the street and you take a picture.
Yeah,
that's cool. That would be interesting. I'd want people to show me that. But no, I'm talking about like. I'm just gonna scroll through. Let me open it up the app. I'll scroll.
Hell, now all you get is advertisements. I'd rather see what my friends.
Here's a Geico advertisement. And okay. And I get this is all I get are memes and advertisements.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Wouldn't you rather see what your friends?
I've scrolled 5 places.
I'd rather see
and
what my
I
friends
still haven't had anybody show up yet.
I know. I would rather see what my friends are doing. If more people posted what they were doing, you wouldn't be dealing with all the advertising.
And then I get a people that I know of people that I've been ignoring for 20 years on Facebook. Like, get a clue already.
Well, nobody really gets on Facebook anymore. I'll get on there. I'll post updates here and there. Or I'll share something.
Here's a Ben Shapiro. I haven't even gotten to a friend yet. Not yet.
Well, you would.
DoorDash.
But you know why? Do you know why?
Because I don't look at anybody's shit.
No.
Right?
No. Because
okay, Rust and Rants is the first one that came up.
Well, you know why you haven't seen a friend yet? Because people have shamed people that they shouldn't share their social media experiences, so no one posts anymore. So now all we get are ads and shows. All you get are ads because people have.
Can I read your Rust and Rants thing? This lady.
Oh yeah, I don't care. Oh my life's public.
This is Ray on Rust and Rants. This is great. This is awesome. So this lady posted. I won't say her name.
Don't say her name. Yeah.
I'm struggling hard right now because I just had to let everyone in my life go because of the political climate and the area I'm living in. It really sucks. Anyone else going through this? See, now let me just say, why would anybody post that? Who gives a shit? Like, who gives a shit where you go? What? Oh, your daddy doesn't like the same political people you like?
You're trying to put Gen X feelings on a Gen Zer. Like, that's impossible. That's how everybody born in the 70s feels about it. That's how you and I feel about it. But this is a young person.
Let me read what Ray...
It's a young person.
Let me read what Ray said to her. Let me lick my finger so I can scroll it, even though it's not a book.
Yeah.
Let me lick my finger and scroll. Okay, so Ray... Oh, no, you said something else. You got an agree to disagree on here. Did you see that?
I didn't go. I posted and ghosted there.
Post and ghost. That's what if I post anything, I ghost. Okay, I'm trying to find your first one. Anyway, okay, hold on 1 second.
There was a lot of commentary.
There's a lot of
that.
like, and then sometimes I think people just
the
need
girls
attention.
She does just need attention. She's bringing.
Okay, so basically Ray was like, "Grow up."
Yeah.
And it's probably your fault.
I think I said something. I think something along the lines of, "You should grow up." And is this a situation? Is this something that happened in the last election, or is this just something that you decided to do right now? Is the gist of it? Because this person obviously, it's not the political climate. It's you being a fucking baby. You are being a baby.
She's being a baby.
All these people that you're having to abandon now, they didn't abandon you 4 years ago due to the political climate. Right. They were still in your family.
They're still your family.
I guarantee.
My family doesn't agree on my family doesn't agree on political stuff right now. We still get together and
still love them.
We love each other.
Yeah.
And they say stuff, and then I don't, and then we say stuff. Look, listen.
This is a blue hair. You already know this is blue hair.
Oh, yeah, total blue hair. So the other thing is like. My friends, that I have friends across all of these political spectrums, okay? I didn't become their friend because of their political views. I became their friend because they're cool. They're cool people.
I think you're.
And then I'm like, I don't want to discuss all that bullshit.
I did.
But it just seems to me.
I think you get less and less.
It seems to me that the left-leaning side wants to make it. I can ignore all of it and play guitar with you and have a good time if you're left.
Yeah.
But it just seems to me that most people on the left can't do it. They can't be my friend anymore.
They will cry and crumble and go into a puddle. If you
Did you see what
here's
the lady
why.
said to you? Oh yeah, because you responded to it.
Here's why. Here's what happens. If you never know, if you're getting in a fight with your girlfriend, right? If you get in an argument, not that you and your girlfriend would ever be in an argument, but let's say you got in an argument, and we all know this from experience, and you get to where you're bringing too much, or her, whichever one's winning the argument. There's too much fact, logic, and reasoning coming at them, right?
So they blow up.
What do? When they run it, when you
fascist, racist,
threaten to shoot you, like the guy just
shoot you.
Like, so when people lose, when you can't win an argument, when you just can't because the logic's not with you, reason's not with you, sense is not with you, common sense is not with you. You know, it's most of these issues now. They're like Trump. If you haven't noticed, Trump goes after like the 80% issue. Have you noticed that? I don't know if you pay attention enough to know. He takes issues that are.
Explain it to me as a child.
All right. Trump takes issue. Here's what I figured out. I think, and Trump finds the issues where he thinks there's 70 or 80% of the world is in agreement with this. Like if I say this out loud, I think he finds the issues where he's like, if I'm sitting in a room with 100 people and I say this thought out loud, 70 or 80% of them will agree with me. He finds those issues and he makes them his focal point, right? And that makes
they're eating the dogs.
They're eating the cats. So if you think about men playing women's sports, everyone, you will never run into a regular person where you have that conversation. If it's just you and them in the room, you will never find a person who doesn't agree with it, right? Because it just makes sense, right?
Right.
So he makes that a big issue. If you say 100% of people know that there's waste, fraud, and abuse in the government, right? And 100% of people wish it was rooted out. So if you say, I'm going to find the waste, fraud, and abuse, and I'm going to get rid of it. Well, the left so you've got about 15, or you've got these fringe people that have to fight about it. Because I'll tell you how I figured this out.
Who's fighting about it are the people that are bonusing from it.
Right. So, but here's where I was like, that's what Trump's doing. So I was watching an interview with Trump, and they were like, what about daylight savings time? Should we keep it right now? And Trump's like, because you know how they're talking about getting rid of it, where you just
they have been for a while.
Right. So they brought it up to Trump, and Trump goes, "Okay, you ready? You ready?" Because
are you ready?
He's like, "Are you ready?" He goes, I'll tell you why. He goes, it's a 50-50 issue. Half the country, he said, believe it or not, he said, I thought it was going to be like people would want more daylight. He goes, turns out that's not the case. He said, believe it or not, it's a 50-50 issue. It's not a hill I'm willing to die on. It's just not something. He's like, I'm not going to war on a 50-50 issue. So he's like, so we'll just let it be what it is. I was like, and then I started thinking about the things he does hone in on, and as you're listening to other people talk, and you listen, of course I follow politics. I mean,
because what is he winning?
Yeah.
Go percentage wise to the percent that's winning, and you win.
Well, he's a popular, so he's like, let me find out what America mostly agrees on, right? Like, so if here, let's say this: 7 months ago, 10 months ago, if you're sitting in a room with 100 people and you're like, guys, who in here thinks the government's doing a good job? Nobody, left or right or center, raises their hand, right? If you're like, who in here thinks there's corruption in the government? No one's going to raise their hand. If you're like, y'all, what if we really, I'm not talking about political speak, what if we really sent teams in there and went after that? How many of y'all would agree with that? I bet you 100% of the hands would come up, right? But since Trump does it, you have to fight against it.
You have to fight it.
You have to fight it. So what the left is choosing, now here's what the left is doing, which is they're gonna fix it because they're not idiots. The left is taking the opposite approach. They're taking an issue that 10 or 15% of the population agrees with and nobody else does, and fighting tooth and nail
for it.
Instead of saying, hey, we're going to help you find this waste, fraud, and we're going to help you find this waste, fraud, and corruption. But let me tell you what, mister, when we find these Republicans, we're going to out their asses. That's how you approach it. You don't act like a lunatic trying to stop it, right?
Right.
You act like, oh yeah, I'm going to help too because I want to get the waste, fraud, and abuse out. We all know it's happening. If they would have said that, I think they'd be getting you'd have a lot more people coming around. But when Trump takes he takes the issues. When I found out he doesn't even really want to fight a 50-50 issue. He takes the issue that has the majority support to start with. Now it's going to come down by the time Trump says it. Once Trump says it out loud, it becomes like a 70-30 issue or a 60-40 issue, right? But before Trump said it out loud,
it was over.
He knows it's an 80 or 90% agreement with him. right? So then they have to fight. They're just fighting a losing battle. A losing battle on everything.
Let me go for so on your post on Russ and Rant. Then this lady underneath you said, agree to disagree and move on. She's commenting on this girl struggling hard right now because she's had to give up her whole family.
Yeah, she had to.
Her dad might still be paying for her
everything. Her septum piercing.
Everything.
You know she has.
Her blue hair.
I already know she has a septum piercing.
Probably her her Camry. He's probably paying her insurance.
For sure he is.
But
she hates him.
She hates him though. She hates him because
he also doesn't want men playing women's sports.
Right. So this lady says, agree to disagree and move on. Don't discuss politics or religion with people who don't have the same beliefs as you. So we're gonna box all ourselves in. So what you said. So what you said to this lady was, that's so wild to me. Are people allergic to different opinions? And what I get from that comment is, should we we just don't talk to? Now we all meet in tiny rooms together and just echo chamber each other's thoughts. That's what we're doing.
That is the left. The original poster on this post we're talking about. The original poster has left her family, right?
Right.
She's left her family because they have different political opinions. This other lady underneath the poster said, oh, young lady, that's the wrong way to go about it. Just don't discuss these things at all with people who have different opinions. What the hell is that? What is that?
You actually did tell her. You said, she said, some people can't do it without arguing. Well, arguing's fine.
It's fine, yeah.
You can argue. You don't have to argue like this. You don't have to argue like, I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna shoot you. Like the dude did. I got some lead for you.
Yeah.
That's not an argument.
That's unhinged.
Didn't these kids take debate in school? Or
of course not.
They didn't.
Debate, Mike. The reason we're getting rid of the Department of Education is because 70% of our children graduate and can't read at a 7th grade level. Right. This one lady This one girl just graduated with honors. Yeah. She just graduated with honors from some high school. I forget where it was a story a couple days ago. She couldn't read. She cannot read or write. She graduated with honors and a 4.2 GPA.
You told this lady those people will never escape their echo chamber.
They won't.
You gotta go. They won't. And they won't. Because they're meeting in tiny rooms saying, what do you think? I think the same thing. I think the same. Even on here, me and you agree a lot.
But we disagree some.
But we agree on issues that are just common sense things.
Of course.
Neither of us are nuts.
That everybody
should agree on. And no, seriously, we're
the sky is...
I know, whoever's watching is no, we do agree because it's normal to agree on normal things.
The sky is blue, water is wet, corruption is bad.
Be able to take a couple shots and then, break records that are impossible for women to break in powerlifting. That's just not fair.
Beating the women by 400 pounds or out.
It's not fair.
A girl in California, which they're not supposed to be doing it, but they still... Track season just started. There's a boy that's now a girl who's 6'1", 180. God. She beat the second place girl by 8 feet in triple jump. So if you don't know track, if you run the 100 meters and you say, oh, that guy only beat me by half a second, that's a lifetime. 1 second in a sprint is so
it's 4 months of running hard.
Yeah, so in a jump,
it's 4 months of training to get that little bit.
So in a jump event, inches. So you're I jumped 41.2, but I got third place with a guy with 41.7 and 41.11.
Right.
This girl, she's not a girl, she's a boy. This boy, 8 feet further than second place. That's you're so much better than everyone else that there's no chance of catching you. Do you know why? Because she has a dick.
Right.
and testosterone.
All the DNA's there to be better.
I'm not saying.
And I'm sorry. I'm sorry to everybody that men are technically, or not technically, but I'm sure there's some MMA fighting women that would whip my ass.
Of course.
100%. Even probably the lowest one on the bottom of the pole. But I'm old and I'm old. But
the highest
when you're competing at a level that's like Olympic style level or high school level.
Even high school level.
High school level, you're in peak, your body's like fucking firing off.
And men and women are way different. Men and women
are way different. It's like I could totally whip everyone's ass in the house.
Well, every high school boy in Louisiana who like makes the state finals in the 100 could make the women's Olympic trials.
Yes.
Right? Like that's the difference.
Yes.
If not win the Olympics, probably win the Olympics.
That's not a sexist thing to say.
No,
it's genetics. It's just men and women are different. And I'm not saying men genetically are made to go out and fucking fight a bear and bring home the meat. That's just how we've been. That's just genetically in us.
That's where the left lost it.
I also think women are smarter than men.
That's fine. But no one's arguing. They're arguing the other thing. When people just wanted to be transsexuals, transgenders, whatever.
Right.
Nobody really cared.
Nobody cares.
It's when you made it. Where you're like, okay.
Now we're competing.
Now everybody. No, first it was everyone has to acknowledge this is truth. I've got to accept your fantasy. That was the first thing I called bullshit. I was like, you can be Jennifer, and if you want me to be if you want to be Jennifer, out of respect, I'll call you Jennifer. I don't believe you're a female. I believe you're a male still. You were a male. You're a boy with a mental issue who thinks you're. That's what I think. You can't force me to believe, but society was supposed to pretend that like, oh yeah, we all accept this, and we even went along with that. And then they started putting men in women's sports, and that's when people were like, hey, that's when the right kind of stepped up and drew a line and said, well, we're not doing this. And they tried, and then everybody said, well, yeah, gay people, trans people, left people, right people. Like I said, it's an 80 or it's really probably, if you want to be honest, it's probably a 99% issue. I think even the people that have to get on the news or the far left people, the farthest left, even when they say that, they don't believe that shit.
No, they like to keep their jobs.
Yeah, you don't.
Their job.
You don't believe it, and they, So anyway, it's the left just finds the craziest stance you can take. And that's what they dig their heels in. And until they fix that, I just think they're burned out party.
So what do we need? Do we need the transgender games? Could we get them all? Can we get them together?
I don't know if there's there's
not enough people.
It's you don't even need that. Everyone with a penis, the penis 100 meters coming up at 3:00, and everyone with vaginas run the 100 meter at 2:45. You just compete with the sex you were born in. That's it.
Yeah.
Simple. First of all, let's not be transitioning our teenagers.
Right. Let's not do that.
This is going to be an adult decision.
You can't get a tattoo until you're what?
18.
18, but you can get your dick slapped off and
7.
have a bunch of
at 7
a bunch of chemicals put in you, castration chemicals put in you. But you can't get a tattoo yet.
So
hold on, no tattoos for you.
So we can have trans games but let's not. In high school, let's just not transition in high school. Let's just not do that.
Let's wait.
I don't think,
Let's wait to get tattoos. Let's wait to smoke. Let's wait to drink.
Let's
wait to transition. Let's wait. Because, this is another thing. Every woman I've talked to said they went through a tomboy phase.
Pretty much.
So, climbing trees,
Maybe it's just fun to climb trees or play with trucks.
And play with trucks. Maybe that's just fun, but they went through a tomboy phase. And I feel like a lot of people now see their daughter go through a tomboy phase and go, oh,
she's a boy.
She's a boy.
Or
and I get that if you get older, because like how fucked up were we when we were teenagers? Like we're trying to deal with the world, and we see it, and as a teenager you see everything that's wrong with the world. You're like, why does everybody get up and go to work in the morning? Why do these billionaires have all this money? Why are we doing this? Why is it like this? Why do we do this? And you see all that as a teenager, and you're growing up and you're trying to figure stuff out, and it's a drag. And it's a drag as a teenager, because you're like, man, why is it set up like this?
It's confusing. Is that what you're getting to?
It's confusing is what I'm getting to. So also on top of that, I would hate to think, and on top of that, I would hate to think that I would be also confused about what gender I am because of like the media and Hollywood.
Because of the media and Hollywood, not because you're really confused.
Media and Hollywood and all that, because you're already confused about why the world is the way it is, because the entire time you've been growing up, you're thinking like, What? Why is it like this?
These bullshit parents did all this.
Right.
They caused all this by allowing it.
They're nuts.
They're nuts. I just saw the other day somebody's trying to transition their 14-month-old. They're 14-month-old. They're transitioning. This is sick.
That's sick.
This is sick
That's
parenting.
sick.
Even if my 12-year-old would have come to me, if Cameron or Dawson come to me at 12 and they said
that person, if
I'm a girl,
they should have their kid taken away from them for mental illness. That's fucking sick.
If he said, "Hey, Dad, I'm a girl," I'd be like, "You're not a girl. You're not a dragon. Get out. Go away." That'd be the end of it. I'd be like, "Shut the fuck up."
Yeah.
Shut up. But instead, these parents coddled I think the parents indoctrinated the children. It's really what I believe.
Yeah. Me too.
Not all of them, but a lot of them. Parents indoctrinate.
Kids don't come up with this shit on their own.
Parents and maybe they saw something on social media or they are confused and the parents just encouraged it instead of being parents.
Right.
Instead of being parents and taking, no, dude, you're absolutely not transitioning. You're 14 years old. You don't know shit from butter.
Right.
You are absolutely not transitioning. When you're 23, if you still want to transition, go ahead. Or even 18.
On your own dime.
I can't stop you on your own. But no, sir, you're definitely a boy.
No, it's definitely.
We'll figure it out together.
Our parents, my dad. I've told this story before. Talking some bullshit in my room. Me and Jeffrey and Jonathan and my dad just sticks his head in the room and he goes, "I hear you boys in here talking about life, and you guys don't know shit about shit. And you need to shut the fuck up and figure out what you're gonna do with your lives." And then he just shut the door and walked out. And we all looked at each other. And that is a story every one of us tell all the time because he was right.
Yeah, of course
we were in there
right.
talking some dumb shit.
But you're kids. You're trying to figure life out.
Dad heard us talking in there and was like, "I gotta go tell these guys they're fucking morons." And that's the problem with
nobody would.
Parents now, like with parents like, "Oh, this girl's climbing a tree and she asked me for a Tonka truck." It's a boy.
Yeah.
You gotta be able to. The hardest part about being a parent, okay, and you know this too, is telling them no. It's the hardest. I fucking wish I'd win the lottery and have $100 million in the bank so I could let my kid be a piece of shit riding around in a fucking Corvette or whatever and do nothing the rest of his life. That would be amazing for him, right? But that's not cool.
Good. It's not good.
That's not good for being a human being.
No.
But like, you kind of have the feeling of like, I never want this person to hurt ever. But that's not being human either. You're gonna get hurt. You're gonna have
life is hard.
Life is hard, and you don't get the win every time.
People are gonna be mean to you.
Things that we were taught that these kids under us were not taught, and
mine were. Thank God.
Mine were, but everybody gets a trophy. We're not keeping score.
That's our fault for doing it.
But yet,
our generation's fault for allowing it.
But yet, we watch all these sports and stuff, and they keep score. Everybody's gambling online. You're losing money.
Life keeps score. Businesses keep score. Promotions keep score.
The government keeps score. Everybody keeps score.
I tell I coach little kids, 11, 12-year-olds, right? But I coached one of these kids when they were 7 and 8, and I told them when they were 7 and 8 years old, I brought them all together, and I said, "Hey, people are going to tell you all this stuff about, it's about having fun." I said, "Let me tell you, it is about having fun." I said, "Do you know what's not fun, guys? Losing stuff, but guess what? It's a part of life." And then I pointed over to the scoreboard and I said, "Do you guys see that scoreboard over there? Do you know why they built it?" They're just looking at me because they're 8. I'm like, they built it to keep score. So anybody that tells you that the score doesn't matter is lying to you. And I don't want people to lie to you guys. But anyway, we're going to have a great year, and then I go on with the rest of my... We're going to have a great year. You guys are going to have fun. I said, "You know where you're going to have fun? Because we're going to win way more than we lose because we're going to try really hard. We're going to work our butts off, and that's going to lead to winning. And if it doesn't, you're going to hurt because it's supposed to hurt. I'm not going to, when we lose, it's supposed to hurt. I'm not going to tell you you're not supposed to hurt. It's just a game."
Yeah, it's life.
Because that's not how life is.
Life.
Your girlfriend's going to break up with you. It's going to hurt. Your wife's going to cheat on you. It's going to hurt. These things that are going to happen in life, and they're going
Hopefully not.
And they're going. Life's going to happen.
Life's going to happen to you.
Yeah.
Life's going to happen, and those things are going to happen, and you're going to hurt.
So you don't need to shield kids from that, and you don't need to. Is my opinion. Everybody's got to raise their own kids, but then when some of these people are coming up, you've got like a lesbian mom and another lesbian mom. They end up with 3 transgender children. The odds of that are like 1 in quadrillion. But did you see it happen a bunch of times, right?
Right.
The odds that I'm gay and my partner's gay and we adopted 3 kids and all 3 of them ended up transgender it's insane for you.
That's like winning the lottery 1,000 times.
It's like winning the lottery 1,000 times. It's insane for you to try to tell me that you didn't indoctrinate these children in some way, or you
didn't let them be who they want to be. Like everybody said, oh, we're gonna let you be who you want.
You can't even believe it, right? Like you can't even believe it.
No.
So like, and I'll see all these, you see videos and I'm like, that's crazy. They obviously are teach this kid to do this. So when it gets too insane, that's when you have shifts. And
well, I also know gay parents that adopted kids and raised them and they're straight.
Of course.
And they're normal people.
Because those were
normal. You know
normal.
who I'm talking about.
Because those are what you call, those are the normal gays, right? That's the normal.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Yeah.
Those are the normal.
Just regular gay. I'm just a regular gay dude.
Gay people, gay ladies, gay dudes.
Yeah.
100%.
That's not the that's not the that's not the ones that we're gonna make this our whole personality. We're gonna make everyone in our orbit their whole. If there were heterosexual people make their sexuality their whole personality are weirdos.
They're called creeps.
They're creeps. You call them creeps. Like you're over.
If you're
19 years old telling
if you're a white male and all you do is talk about banging ladies and how hot chicks are, you're a creep.
You're a creeper.
But
and weird, and you're a weirdo.
Your identity is when you're a super flaming gay dude.
Yeah.
Well, there are also gay dudes that will say that is creepy.
What's creepy?
Constantly talking about your sexuality, even though
of course there's gay people.
Because there's normal gay people. Of
course there's gay people that would think, and then there's the crazy people. That's what we're trying. That's the whole point we're trying to get to. There's the ones that and for everybody in society, there's okay. You want to be transgender? That's fine. You want to play volleyball against my daughter? Fine.
That's not fine. You're 6'4" and you weigh 210 pounds.
Yeah,
right?
and you're a dude.
11th grader.
And you're a dude, right? Those common sense issues. I just think if you just pick losing, especially now that there's no more money to fund corruption.
Right.
What do they do now? Because I don't know if you've seen any of but a lot of their protests now that used to be like 10,000 people. Yeah. Now it's like a protest of like 85 people.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, if I see like 85 people, I just think that's just like a group of dudes. You see 5,000, so that looks powerful. This could be serious business.
Not a lot of bands speaking out right now either about stuff, are there? You heard anything?
Tom Morello's nut ass, but he's about the only one.
What did he say?
Tom Morello just rages with the machine.
He rages with the machine.
He rages with the
washing machine.
Yeah, Tom Morello hasn't recognized yet that this is the resistance.
Right.
That is not the resistance.
Well, you got to remember, I have a CD of them outside the Democratic National Convention that is filmed on a CD of them talking shit about the Democrats in 2000s, where I've got it, and it's a DVD of them live playing, and then they're all like, "Hey, it's a big club in there, and we're not invited. Here's Bulls on Parade."
Yeah, he's talking about all
the DNC. It's a Democrats.
He was talking about all politicians at that time, and that was back when the Democrats were for pro-peace, when the Democrats were anti-violence, anti-destruction, pro-working people, pro-common sense, pro-get the corruption out of government.
Now it's all flipped.
Like, there's a video from 2010 of Nancy Pelosi talking about how we need to get all the corruption out of Social Security and Medicaid.
Right.
And right now she's saying that they're trying to steal from your grandmother for doing that.
Right.
Which one is it? There's a famous saying that if you don't lie, you don't have to remember what you said.
I gotta show you something too. Speaking of like the flip flopping, let me pull this up real quick.
If you just told the truth, it's just a lot easier to keep up with yourself, right? Like just be honest with yourself and others.
I hope I sent this to somebody because I showed it to Kylie earlier. Basically, it's Obama saying everything that is he's saying in a speech everything Trump said about the border,
Sure,
and all of that stuff.
Everything.
He said he even goes into length about like saying, you can't flood over the border because people are trying to get into the country legally. And the whole thing's flip-flop.
Yeah, he said
completely flip. And young people don't.
And he said
young people don't understand.
And he was talking about getting criminals out.
What the Democrats were all about back then are not. It's completely flopped over.
They completely.
And you know why? Because like we said earlier, everybody in power right now, we're Democrats. We're those Democrats.
So you have to say you hate those people who you used to applaud.
Right.
All the left used to say Tulsi Gabbard.
It's gone nuck and futz. The whole thing's nuck.
They used to say Tulsi Gabbard was like the future of the Democrat Party. She's such a strong woman. They got all these broad. When she was a Democrat, they're going, "Oh, she's a veteran. She's a commanding officer. This is a strong, powerful woman." Because you got a veteran. You got somebody on the Democrat side, and that's not normal. Now all of a sudden she's a Russian asset. She can't be trusted.
It's all bullshit. All lies.
Yeah, and so it's so obvious lies.
We'll get back to it.
Yeah.
Next time.
Next time we're going to talk about the music again.
We'll talk about some music next time.
Right.
But there's so much going on.
So much going on.
You can't not talk about.
And people like talking about this.
And it's crazy.
And it's fun.
And it's also nuts.
It's nuts.
And it's also crazy.
And nuts is fun. We'll see y'all later.